Statistics from 2011 indicate that Uganda has registered a consistent trend of severe food insecurity following each general election. In 2011, this situation, among other reasons, forced FDC's party president, then Kizza Besigye, to stage the walk-to-work demonstrations as a civil reaction to the escalating cost of living and food scarcity. Food inflation had surged above 30% on staple commodities.
You earn from my taxes. Don't use my taxes to stop me from earning to pay.
The 2017 Uganda's first nationwide integrated food security phase classification report, jointly conducted by the government of Uganda, FAO, World Food Programme and other development partners, revealed that over 10.9 million Ugandans were food insecure. The analysis attributed this situation to poor rainfall, high market dependency, and economic shocks, all aggravated by the post-election slowdown. Notably, food production in several districts fell below normal levels due to droughts and limited access to agricultural inputs during that period. Following the 2021 elections, early warning and analysis signaled persistent stress, where around 3 million Ugandans would face a food crisis or worse. After the 2021 elections, the Karamoja sub-region faced a deterioration, with around 30% of the population facing acute food insecurity, leaving them with no choice but to feed on leaves. CSOs, including Food Rights Alliance, CSBAG, Siatini and others, predict that the 2011 to 2021 sequence sets a precedent that every electoral transition has been followed by a period of economic strain, commodity price escalation, and food insecurity. This consistent pattern over the past 15 years demonstrates that unless deliberate safeguards are put in place to stabilize agricultural production, protect household incomes and manage market shocks, Uganda risks reliving the same post-election food crisis in 2026. This year's National Food Security and Nutrition Assessment Report indicated that 16% of the country's population of more than 3 million have been suffering from food insecurity, with 428,000 children under the age of 5 and 84,000 pregnant mothers are acutely malnourished and in need of treatment. According to Agnes Chirabo, the Executive Director of Food Rights Alliance, if government doesn't embark on a plan to secure food for the future that can be sold at cheaper prices during crisis times, Ugandans should be ready to face food insecurity.
So dear government, you're not safe either in the urban or even in the rural areas. You're ruling over hungry people.
As we get excited towards the elections, we are citizens. If there is a surge in debt financing, it means that our debt will be, when it comes to servicing our debt, government will opt to service debt vis-a-vis spending on food, which is very critical. And we see from the 2011 general election where inflation shot to 2 digits at about 30%. And the main driver was food inflation. So it means that people will not afford the food. That's why they need to critically look at the fiscal side of it.
They also want the government to prioritize nutrition and food storage in the next financial year. Treat food security and nutrition as a national priority for socio-economic and political stability during and post-election. The government and stakeholders should consistently note that food insecurity spikes instability. The government should release development funds pre-elections so that the production and other developments continue ahead of the elections to avoid a crisis. The Minister of Finance should ensure budget credibility pre- and post-elections, for instance, the implementation of the development budgets as approved. The government should ensure public food stocks of priority foods such as maize, rice, beans ahead of elections, and especially in vulnerable communities like the urban centers. The Minister of Finance should table the pre-election economic and fiscal update before the cabinet as given in the Public Finance Management Act of 2015.
Follow the energy and the anger and the hunger to throw stones and all forms of objects to you post the elections. So please, we are making this call 2 months away. They are just enough to leverage on the current harvests and we stock foods.
They also said they expect hunger caused by food shortages to increase in the refugee camps, especially at this time when donors decrease the food portion rendered to these communities. They urged the government to allocate more money to agencies like UNBS to further analyze the quality of goods sold, given that most fraudsters utilize this chance when people are taken up by the political temperatures.
While UNBS is mandated to look at the safety of the products and the standards, but during elections, there's some sort of hold in this kind of practice. And so what happens is that any substandard products can find their way to the market, and this is what our consumers then will be accessing in the market.
They also urged Ugandans to pay attention to politicians who have a plan to fight food shortages in their manifestos.
Look closely and critically at the manifestos and their promises on food and nutrition security and agricultural transformation.
Becca Sinyonga Mlinde, NTV, Weekend Edition.
Something that we don't talk about.